Tony Jeffries.
What's happening, mate?
Not much, man. I still can't believe. Funny story. I ran into you last weekend.
I know.
In Austin, Texas. We've been going back and forth over email to try and make this happen.
Yeah.
And I was training at On It Gym. Shout out to On It because it's a great fucking place. And I just hear your voice in the background. I'm like, no fucking way. This is Tony right there. And I look, and it's tall blonde guy, boxer. And I was like, dude, what's up? I'm the bus guy. Like, I'm sure you're at first like, who the hell is this? Like, oh, the bus guy from the emails.
Yeah, the bus guy. That's what I remember you of. Imagine being named the bus guy, known as the bus guy.
It's I have to run with it now. It's something I can never let down.
So how clean is this podcast? Is it a clean podcast, or can you swear? Or
oh no, you can swear. We're pretty explicit language.
So talking about buses, right? Quick little story. My friend sent me a link about 3 weeks ago. There was a guy who was in my class at school, got arrested for playing with himself on the back of a bus. How about that?
Here in this country?
No, in England, in the north of England, in Sunderland. Yeah, he was playing with himself at the back of the bus. I don't ride buses. I can't remember the last time I was on a bus. I don't really speak about buses. So when we're talking about, you're the bus guy. You're not that bus guy, but that just made me think about him.
Oh, God.
Because I want to call him the bus guy.
Oh, don't you? I'm not the bus guy. Not me.
Not that bus guy.
Just the bus guy.
What a way to start the podcast, talking about a guy playing with his dick on the back of a bus. Yeah, that's cool.
But how was everything at On It last weekend in Austin, Texas? What were you doing out there?
So we went on it because what I do now, I teach people how to teach boxing, personal trainers, fitness professionals, and we had a course out at the On It Academy at the gym there, where people have travelled from around America, from around the world to come and work with us. And we had our certification course. We had 55 people coming, and we taught them how to teach boxing and help build their careers in the fitness industry. So that's a big passion of mine right now, and something I love to do. And yeah, it went really well. And like you see, On It is an amazing facility, great people. They've got everything we need. So it was
the people, brilliant. The products, and now they got that gym there.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. I love that place. We've been there like 3 or 4 times. I'm a good friend of Aubrey Marcus, who's the CEO of On It, and his fiancée Whitney Miller. I trained her for a fight before, so I've got a great relationship with them people.
She fights?
She had one fight. He asked me if I would train her for a fight. She come to LA, did a 6-week training camp with her, and then we went to Austin. They flew me to Austin. This was like 2 years ago. And
okay, it wasn't recently. Like I was gonna say, like.
No, yeah, 2 years ago.
Was it an MMA fight or a boxing match?
No, boxing fight.
How'd she do?
She won. She fought a girl who had like 6 fights, and it was yeah, she did really well, and she had a fight, and she punched this girl's head in. So
and that was her first fight?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
then she was like, I might have another one. I'm like, no, Whitney, just stop. Just quit while you're ahead. Undefeated fighter.
Gorgeous girl who can fight. It's double threat.
Yeah, it is.
And you as a fighter, you Olympian.
Right.
Bronze medalist, 2008 Beijing. That had to be a coolest experience. That's an accolade on your resume, or a notch to have in your mind, like.
Yeah, it was. It's amazing. It really is, and it's changed my life. When I was 16, I was the champion of England. Well, when I was 13, I was the champion of England. 14, 15, then 16. And what the England boxing program did, they got all of the 16-year-olds, the champions of the country, and the people who were the runners-up, the finalists, put us on a training program. It was an 8-year training program for the 2008 Olympics. And I went through the full 8 years to go to the Olympics. So it was a long goal and an amazing achievement. And I always remember the head coach, Terry Edwards, saying, if you go to the Olympics, it'll change your life. And not even medaling, just going to the Olympics, it'll change your life because you be part of a very exclusive club. And I didn't really understand it until I got there and I got back. And that was 2008, so 11 years ago now. And it really has changed my life. Like you see it now, you've just mentioned it there and you brought it up. It's like it's a big thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a huge part of me and my life, and I love it.
Yeah, it's what sports are for a lot of people. I mean, sports, at least for me, I think I can say for both of us, where it's gotten us, where it's taken us around the world to, almost be ambassadors for the people of our country. And like you said, for the Olympics, right. It's the top and marquee spot, and you get to go out there and not just be the representation of the person that a lot of people don't even get to go travel these places, but you're the guy who's there and then representing people on this sports level, which gives people a lot of pride. It's a part of nationalism that's really great, something people can latch onto and get behind, especially on the sports side. So it's
it was amazing. You've got the whole country behind you, and when you're in the Olympics, you're in kind of a bubble because you're in the Olympic Village and you're there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and you don't know what's going on back home. So I'm from a city called Sunderland in the north of England, and no one from that city's ever been to the Olympics. So little did I know that there was camera crews, local newspapers, going round interviewing people in the streets about me and about what I was doing in the Olympics, going interviewing my old school teachers, interviewing people I used to work for, all that, you know. And I didn't know that. And when I got home and I got off the aeroplane, I went from the boy next door who owned a catering trailer to getting off the aeroplane, welcomed by hundreds of people chanting my name with banners. And I was like, wow, that's like, obviously it's not an overnight success because, like I said, I was on an 8-year training program. But when I on my way to Beijing to when I got back to Beijing, it was night and day, getting pictures with everyone, signing autographs. I didn't know that it was going to be like that, you know. And even ever since then, like I was talking to you about before the podcast, this morning I've been to a school. I took my Olympic medal in Los Angeles, talking to the kids about hard work and never giving up. You know, it's still affecting my life right now. 11 years on, I'm still signing kids' autographs now, and it's crazy. It's crazy the effect that's on my life.
Yeah, it was funny when you were telling us that story. You were at a school talking about bullying.
Yeah.
To a bunch of it was elementary school kids.
Was it? Yeah, it was. They were like 10, 11 year old, and the lady who asked me to go, her son was in the class, and he's been coming to our boxing gym, and she said, like, there's a kid in the class bullying him. So, you know, I got him on the mitts. I got him gloves on, and I was letting him punch, and I was saying, oh, look how hard he punches. And I even said, if I was in this class now, I would never mess with this kid.
That's fantastic.
And then his mum was there as well, and she went, Tony, thank you so much for that. You know, it really boosted his confidence and all that. Yeah, I mean, I used to get bullied in school, so I know how horrible it can really be. You know?
Really?
Yeah.
But how long have you been boxing for? I mean,
yeah. So I started boxing when I was 10.
People were messing with you even when you were.
Yeah. Well, when I was 10, I got bullied. I used to have a really freckly face, and I used to call me freckly and call me horrible names. I come from a different school, moved to school, and I'm 10 years old. I went home and I was upset and crying. And what my mum and dad said is, tomorrow when you're going to go to school, as soon as you see that bully, you're going to punch him as hard as you can in the face. And I went, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. You are. And I was crying and no, I'm not. Anyway, they made me go to school, and when I seen the bully, I punched him as hard as I can in the face, bust all his nose. And this is a 10-year-old. And you know what? He never said a word to us ever again. I never got bullied ever again through that. I ended up becoming friends with this kid eventually. But, you know, that's how I got taught to deal with a bully, and it worked. You know, but I couldn't see that in these schools. If anyone bullies you, punch them in the face, you know, in front of the teachers, even though that might be the right way of doing it, you know.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because like it's a different time now.
Yeah, it is.
In terms of like where you can, you know, make a stand and a stance, because I mean, in the end, your parents aren't there. We're all breeding this idea of tribal creatures. You know, we're off on our own. We have to make something for ourselves. We have to define who we are, and we have all those unique moments. And you know, it's that moment for you, giving that kid a knock in the nose. You know, help define. You know, not just to who you are, because again, you didn't want to do that.
Right.
But it's like people above you, or people that you looked up to, or the people that know better than you, your parents and your family. They said, hey, listen, we know there's some kind of greatness. You know, they knew you were going to be a great boxer then and there. But I could say the same thing with basketball. Like I always had to play with kids 4 years older than me. And I'm like 6 or 8 years old playing with 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Like, I don't want to go play with these kids. I want to play with my friends. But like, no. You got to go out there. You got to go play with these kids. Yeah. It's going to make you better. But the bullying thing was definitely a thing there, because you're the smallest kid all the time. Mentally and socially, like, you just don't fit in either. I mean, this is just way outside of your knowledge base. You know, what people are going through puberty or experiencing things. But you gave me a flashback.
And with that as well, when you're younger and you're going in against older people, that can go two ways. It can either make you come out the way you did and give you more confidence. You've been working with the bigger kids, or it can kill your confidence, because at a young age you're never going to be as good as older kids, or you might be losing all the time, and it might kill your confidence, thinking you're not good enough. You know, we have kids classes on in the boxing gyms here, and the minimum age is 6, and so we'll have 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds all in one group, and then there'll be parents bring the kids in who's 5, and they'll lie and they'll say they're 6, and now you've got a 5-year-old going against a 7-year-old in a race and losing every single time, right? And what that does for the 5-year-old, they get upset and they cry. Now the 5-year-old doesn't understand this kid's older than them. I believe that kills their confidence and it makes them feel down. Not a little bit older when you're 10 and 11, that's different. But when you're talking about that age group, does that make sense what I'm saying?
No, completely. Yeah. Like you say, luckily I had the VHS tapes of Michael Jordan and said, oh, if I can be as crazy about winning as that person is, no matter who I'm going against, no odds, no bus trip around the world is going to be too tough for me. I'm going to get through everything. Yeah. So I was, again, it's a good point that it can go either way on it's going to destroy the kid's psyche and mentality, or it's going to be like, oh, no, these are 12-year-olds. But if I'm better than 12-year-olds at 8, and I'm already as close to them now, I'm going to keep working, keep working. Yeah. But I mean, that is like a big conversation today, not just I'm sure with fighting, because, listen, age-wise, we cannot put a younger kid and an older kid together. They're going to do that. But even like with genders now, people saying, oh, this person has a sex change or a trans change, and there's a woman fighting a man. Some people think, well, oh, no, it's okay, taking hormones away, replacing hormones. But I don't think we're there yet. Letting people cross over and fight that. It's
I don't know about the fighting. But even when I was like 12, I was a big kid for my age, and I used to be sparring with 18, 19-year-olds. And sometimes I would get beat up, and it was hard, but it did make me better. I was getting dragged to the gym to go and get in there and spar with these, but by the time I was 14, 15, I was beating the shit out of these grown men, because I stuck at it. I got my own back with them.
Yeah, I used to get smart, and I would just be yelling at the kid's parents who's probably coaching the team, and I'm like this 12-year-old playing with 16-year-olds, and I'm like, yeah, your son sucks. Like, he shouldn't be playing. I mean, if you're a bad coach for not even knowing that I should be in the game. It's like, yeah, my parents had to have a good talking to me. You can't talk to people this way. This is just sports. Don't take it so seriously. But there was no telling me anything, man. How involved with boxing are you? Are you still training any pros? Or are you still got people coming to your gym? I mean, you told me you got Whitney coming in there, but
so I'm totally hands off with the actual boxing. I get asked just about every other day about, can you train this guy? I've got no interest at all in training fighters. Right now, I'll train a few people for fitness, and that's where I'm at. And my passion is training people to train people for fitness. And I'm sure if you've seen my social media, you'll see everything on there is about boxing and how to get better at boxing. So people see that and they think I'm training fighters, but I've got no interest at all in training fighters or being involved in that sport, in the fight sport rather than the fitness aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, why is that? Why do you want us to take a step aside?
A big thing is money. There's not that much money in training fighters, unless you're training someone huge, and then the energy that you've got to put into it, it's not that good. And when I was involved with boxing, I got ripped off my promoter with like probably $50,000, and at the time it was, and at the time when I've got not much money, it was disheartening. It was very disheartening. So I kind of fell out of love with it there. But now I've just loved what I do right now, like running the gyms, working with fitness professionals, being a pretty big name, if you like, not being big-headed in this market, in this niche space of boxing for fitness. I love that. I love doing that stuff. So if I had a fight to come along and I couldn't be arsed with that shit. Couldn't be arsed with.
A lot of former athletes have that problem with the transition after sports, and I think I actually had that moment too. Like you said, I make it overseas. I signed with a team in Israel, and I'm going to play professional basketball. It's like you made it. No matter this, you're a short, white guy. You're never gonna play it. You're there. You do it. And 3 days into practice, everything you think is going perfect, and the team goes, "Yeah, we don't want to pay you. Just go home," and like trying to dip out of the contract. And and then I remember I was playing Ukraine like a year and a half later. And a kid, we're all like saying, okay, we got one more shot. Let's really kind of make a push towards this professional career. He's like, yeah, I really I'm losing touch. I'm falling out of love with the game. And I'm like, nah, it's impossible. You can't do that. And then it starts wearing on you. How much of a beating can you take?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, especially like you said, on the coaching side, sometimes those coaches probably want it more than some of those players. I
Yeah.
mean, you got to be fully invested in that individual as well.
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
On that professional side, I mean, because the whole boxing, the whole promoting side, is just a whole nother, like, if like in other sports you got like general management, you got the coaching staff, and you got the players. Boxing, I think, is like one of the big promotion side.
Yeah.
Going up there, talking to John before the fight, signing the deal, making sure the money's lined up with a pay-per-view or this and that. I mean, it's gonna be exhausting.
There's so much. Then there's the ticket side, and then there's just so much to it, which I'm not really interested at all in being involved with. Yeah, and like now I'll train basketball players. Matt Barnes,
yeah.
I train him. A good guy, and then there's been a ton of the basketballers come to the gym. Sometimes I'll train some of them.
How's Matt's hands?
Good, mate. He's cause he's so big. He's like 6 foot.
He's long, right?
6 or whatever. Yeah, and he can turn his hips, and he fully extends his arm. He can punch hard, you know. But he's a good fella. Cause I don't really follow basketball. I didn't know much about it. And then when I start training him, people were saying, "Wow, did you know that?" I'm like, "No." And then I looked into him, and he's got a bit of a bad boy reputation in the basketball game. But yeah, he's cool. So yeah, like training people like that is fun for me, rather than training someone who's a fighter, who's, you know, I've got involved with the promoters and all that side.
Is he trying to get into a ring?
Oh no, he's not trying to get into
He's
the
just
ring.
for sport?
Yeah, just for keeping fit, because it is like have you tried boxing?
Just for sport. Actually, remember did a first boxing class with this guy. We were in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But
it is one of the best, if not the best, I think, ways to keep fit, and the benefits to boxing for fitness, the ongoing, you know, just for your mind alone, helping your mentality. It's amazing. So I recommend everyone try boxing.
I mean, I'll go do some conditioning with a few bags. The gym I'm out in Pharos, Echo Park. They got like 6 bags. They got a ring in there as well. They got 2 or 3 rooms in their facility. And I'll go and hit the bag, you know, get 10 punches on a bag, down, do a burpee, slide over to the next one.
That's good.
So it's great to add just another dimension into the endurance training or conditioning training that I'll do. And yeah, hitting a bag, man.
Yeah, boxing's great. Hitting the bag, hitting the mitts, hitting someone's face. It really is. It's a lot of fun.
No, it's spectacular. So I know you mentioned you don't want to be involved like with the boxing side, especially training professionals. But where is the state of boxing? Because I know a lot of people will say that they don't like where boxing is, or boxing is dying out or falling to the wayside, especially compared to MMA.
Right. Yeah. Boxing is flying right now. I mean, the heavyweight division's the best it's ever been. I think since since the Mike Tyson and Alex Lewis days. I think boxing's in a really good place right now. Even the middleweight divisions, a lot of the divisions are. It really is, and you're gonna get people who say that's dying now, and then again people saying that about the MMA, because MMA, UFC hasn't really got a big star anymore. Like if you remember when there was Ronda Rousey, Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, John Jones, you had all of these big names and a lot more at one time fighting, but now they've all like fizzled out. John Jones is still in there now. So the MMA hasn't got a great big star. So you could even see that about MMA, like, you know, is that dying out right now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you
especially like Khabib, because like I'm sure a guy who just disappears to Georgia when it's time, and then he just resurfaces back over here.
Exactly, and even him, he's not marketable really. Yeah. I mean, he's got a big following over in Kazakhstan or Dagestan.
Yeah.
He's got a big following over there, but like, you know, I bet he'd walk down Wilshire Boulevard now and not be many people knew who he was.
Unless he wore the big furry hat.
Yeah, then they would. But like, and the Conor McGregor fight with him was really helped boost his profile as well. So yeah, there's not really any household names, big stars in the UFC right now, I don't think, with the MMA. But in boxing, you know, I think there might be. But I'm not going to compare the two. I think they're both great and both in good places.
Well, on the promotional side, I mean, is that like deterring a lot of fights from happening? Because I know right now, what is it? Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder have fought recently.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get Anthony Joshua to fight either one or the other. And I don't know, that's a whole promotional thing. Obviously, these guys want to get paid and they want the right amount of money to make. But, I mean, do you see those guys ever get in the ring?
I think they will eventually. But right now, it's frustrating for the boxing fans. But for the fighters, like for Fury, AJ and Wilder, you know, keep fighting, keep earning money, because this boxing game can end any time. I know that. I retired after 10 professional fights with injury, you know. So what you've got to do with boxing is get in, earn as much money as you can, and get out while you're safe, while you've still got your marbles upstairs, because you will get, anything can happen, and you can lose it all. So, you know, with them not fighting each other, I just want them to make money, you know, really. From a fighter's point of view, I want them to make as much money as they can and get out. Yeah, it would be great to see Fury fight Wilder again, or AJ fight either of them, but if it doesn't happen, well, not. But I think it will happen eventually. It's got to, you know. Yeah,
we've seen less of those like multi-tiered fights. You know, you think the Ali Frazier, I mean, well, they fight 3, 4, 5 times, and just I mean, the legacy and the, you know, the epic that came along with that. It was like you're a part of these guys' lives, and I mean, traveling around the world to get these fights in. These guys do get to market themselves much more with social media, the internet, etc. But like, it just seems like you said, the fans want more. Right. We want to see more fights, and I hope we get them.
Yeah, I hope so too. But you never know. I think we will, but we'll see.
I mean, don't you think that happened with Mayweather and Pacquiao?
It happened too late, didn't it? It happened way too late. It did. But again, they both made a shit ton of money in the meantime. And like I say, that's what it's all about. Coming from a fighter, get in, make as much as you can, and get out unhurt. Where Mayweather's done that. Pacquiao's been chinned a few times now, and you know, I think it's time for him to hang them up.
Yeah. He's got a big one coming up though, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's fighting. Who the fuck is he fighting? I can't remember his name. He's got a big fight coming up. It's just been announced recently. So yeah, I would like him to get out of it. He's getting old now. He's past his best, and you know, he's just fighting now. I don't know why he's just fighting, because he's got loads of money.
Yeah, well, I mean,
he wants some more.
He's running the Philippines. I mean,
yeah.
Is he? I think he's a sitting senator, or governor, or something.
He's got a role in the politics in the Philippines. So yeah, I would like to see him get out with that.
Yeah, it's time for him.
Yeah.
And what was I gonna say? What do you think about these MMA crossover boxing fights? Like we have like Conor McGregor, and Floyd Mayweather.
Conor Mayweather, that got so much criticism from boxing fans and MMA fans. Got so much hate. I absolutely loved that fight. I really do. I want them to have a rematch. It was entertaining. It was a bit like WWE when they were getting in each other's faces before. But so what, you know? And yeah, it was getting so much hate. And my big thing was, I want this to happen in my lifetime. It might not happen again in our lifetime. A fight as big as that with someone like Conor, someone like Floyd. Why not let it happen in our lifetime so we can see it, rather than happen when we're dead? You know what I mean? So yeah, I loved that fight. I really did, and I would love to see them have it again. And I've posted this on social media, and I got a lot of shit for it. But no, I like it, mate. I like the entertainment. I like the you've got to think about what's going to happen. You're going to be surprised. Is Conor going to kick him? Is he going to take him down? You know, is Floyd going to knock him out in one round? Yeah, I love that fight.
I saw that fight with my buddy in Grand Junction, Colorado. And we were actually driving that bus down from Utah to Chile at that point.
Right.
In Grand Junction's like, it was like at a truck stop with a bar next door where we saw this fight, and it was like the most true representation of America where we saw this fight. You had white guys cheering for for Mayweather, and then chanting USA for Conor. It was like just the most WWE crowd you could have possibly watched it in. Yeah. In a bar where people are chanting USA for Conor. They want a black guy to win. It was just nuts.
Just messed up, yeah.
It was just nuts. You couldn't have watched it in a better location than boxing. Like a purist trying to argue, like, listen, this is what this, like, no sense was being made, and it was just it was
I remember
boggling.
So Conor trains in Box and Burn when he comes to LA.
Oh, nice.
And the first time I was training there, I was asking, well, what's next? He went, I'm going to try and fight Floyd Mayweather. And I was thinking, good luck with that. I was like, oh, nice, mate. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, you've got absolutely no chance of that fight happening. And it actually did. This is like 6 months before it got announced, you know? And he did it, and he earned millions. So I've got nothing but respect for what Conor McGregor's done, business-wise, you know. I think he's great. I'm a Conor fan, even though right now he seems to be going through a lot of shit in the media and stuff. But I think he's class. I love him.
Well, I mean, that Habib really took him down bad. I mean, it was a tough fight, but I mean, Habib's taking down everybody right now with that wrestling he has.
Yeah.
He fought the Brazilian with the really good leg kicks before that fight.
Right.
And again, Edson Barbosa maybe.
Yeah.
And the guy stood no chance. It was just like one of those, even with Conor, like, wow, like.
Yeah. He did what a lot of the true MMA fans thought he would have done, by just taking Conor down and beating the shit out of him. He did that. I didn't. I thought Conor was going to knock him out. But,
really?
you know, yeah.
You just give him a chance. I mean, you couldn't breathe with him. Who's Habib supposed to be fighting next?
I don't know. I've got no idea. I wonder if Conor comes back or not. I'm not sure.
Really?
Yeah. I hope he does. I think without Conor, you know, we're missing out. I love seeing his promotions when he's promoting.
He's the full package.
Yeah, he's got it all. Now he's got his whiskey as well.
God, but like any athletes, I mean, I think I can recognize. I mean, what he was cashing a welfare check, you know, just or a social security, whatever check, like, you know, 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And now he is where he is today.
Now he's a multi-millionaire.
Same thing with what's his name with Leicester City, the soccer guy, Jamie something. Leicester City had that big run football squad.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 years before, I mean, he was a plumber.
Wow.
Just playing in small leagues.
Yeah.
And slowly moved his way up to get where he is today.
Right. Yeah, and that's what you've got to do. Like I said, I was working on a catering trailer selling burgers and flipping burgers outside of the Sunderland football ground. And, you know, then I went to the Olympics and it changed my life around. And then I was really smart with the money that I did earn. I used to buy houses. Every 2 fights, I'd buy a house. Now I own 5 houses in the UK. So I invested my money really wisely. And then when it come to opening a gym here, I invested the rest of my money into box and burn, and you know, and being smart about it, which is a lot of boxers, a lot of athletes really struggle with is to do that. You know, there's a lot of boxers that don't pay tax, which is a terrible idea. You know, when I turned pro, I was like, not a chance. I'm out working all this hard, getting all these punches in the face to earn this money to pay 30-40% of it to a tax. Fuck that, I'm not doing that. But you know, then I got wise to it and I realised, you know, there's ways around paying less tax, but as long as you're paying tax. I know one fighter, he was a British champion. He earned, I think, £30,000 for his fight, which is about $50,000. And after that fight, because he'd never paid any tax running up to that, he had a $50,000 tax bill. So he had to put everything that he earned from this 12-round war British title fight, he had to pay it to the tax man or he was going to go to jail, you know. And fighters make that mistake of not paying tax and then not investing the rest of the money, you know. It's pretty crazy to me, but, you know, of course, what it is with fighters, we come from backgrounds where uneducated backgrounds. Fighters are known for being uneducated and not having good people around them, smart people around them, and not having a business mind, just a fighter. So when you get someone like that who's got money, who's getting a bit of money, you know, they don't know what to do with it. They'll spend it on a flash car with big wheels, which I did that as well. But, you know, and they'll throw it all away.
Did you have any role models who like helped you, advise you like this to make better decisions, or?
So my dad's always been a good businessman, and he I think I got my business brain off him. I always had a good business brain. Like I said, I bought the catering trailer and started working on that.
Oh, that was your own company?
Yeah, it was my own van. I was 19 years old, didn't have a clue what I was doing, never cooked a burger in my life. But I thought, fuck, this is a good idea. I got it, pulled outside, no permits or anything, just started flipping burgers, and I was making like $500 on a weekend, and then training throughout the week. I was making more money than any other amateur boxer at the time. You know, and it really helped. It paid off. And then, yeah, it was my idea to invest in houses and properties, and then obviously come over here and take the big risk of putting the rest of the money that I had into an empty warehouse in Santa Monica. I'd only been in LA for like 6 months. I didn't have a clue about the market or about renting the building, but I put the rest of my money into a property, and you know, now it paid off. Now we've got 2 gyms, an education program. The businesses are doing multiple 7 figures a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm not earning that, but like the businesses are bringing it in. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And then when I see it, like, so back to the point about boxers, they'll get the money and they'll spend it, and they'll think it's going to come forever. Then they'll get an injury, or something will happen. They've got to retire from boxing. The career's ended, and now they're not getting that money. Keep coming in, you know, and then they're fucked. Then they get depressed, start drinking, get a job on a building site because they've got no education. And what I'm seeing right now happens all the time. They get a little bit punch drunk because they've been fighting all their life. They've got a little bit of CTE, and they're living a really, really bad life. That's what I've just described there is the path of a fighter. Start when they're 10 years old, retire when they're 26. They've got fucking no money. They don't know what to do. They've got no education. They get into a shit job, start drinking, get fat, get depressed, hate their life, you know. And this is something that I'm trying to do with our Boxing Burn Academy, our education program. I love to help boxers make money through teaching boxing, because that, when I said that I haven't got an education, that's a lie. They haven't got a school education. They've got a boxing education. You know what I mean?
No, completely. I think as that's a hard thing though to do, is because not every professional athlete or athlete in general is going to make a good coach sometimes.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's hard to transition those guys in there. And sometimes you don't get a great guy who's a hell of an athlete, but he can't coach for shit.
Yeah, big time. I agree with that. They've got the experience to be able to be a good coach. Like, I know basketball is different. It's more specific about winning games and all that. But with boxing, I think this is the only really sport where you can teach it as a part of fitness, everyday fitness. I might be wrong. There might be some more. But now, if they're going to take that boxing knowledge and learn how to be a fitness trainer, combine them two together, they've got a money-making thing right there by teaching boxing for fitness. But like you say, everyone can't do that. But with our program, that I'm teaching people how I did that. Now I understand how to speak to someone who wants to learn boxing for fitness rather than learn boxing to fight, you know?
Yeah.
To translate that, because that's the big thing in the fitness industry with boxing. I'm drifting all over here.
No, you're good. I think there's, like you said, it's like the analogy I like to use. It's not a matter of, like, we're in a car. We don't really have to stay in the lines. We can veer a little bit. There's a little bit of emergency room. So as that boxer, not going out and training specifically boxers, or a basketball trainer, not specifically going to go train professional athletes or college athletes, I got to make sure someone's getting a great workout. Yeah. And I'm going to do that through basketball. It's something they enjoy to do. Whether they want to take that for some real-world application, they're having fun doing the exercise they enjoy doing the most. They come to you for that hour or 45 minutes, and they're able to disconnect. But again, like you said, a lot of those athletes don't know how to market themselves. So I would really like to, how do you guys do that? Could you give us some tips and pointers how you take these guys and say, hey, listen, take this part about what you do and make something more of yourself, because you have the education in that game. It's not about what you see in it. It's about what you can sell to, you know, the person coming in.
So a big thing is what boxers do. And I was the same when I turned from being a professional boxer to teaching in the fitness industry. We try and make every student perfect. Like, someone comes in, they can't throw a proper jab. It's like, no, you need to do like this. No, you need to do like this. No, you need to. And we talk to them the way our old school boxing coaches talk to us, right? Where what the boxers need to understand is the number one thing people need to be getting out of the session is enjoyment, fun, right? Now, if someone comes in for a boxing session, then the trainer, the boxer, should make sure that they're having fun, a lot of fun. The second thing that they should be getting is having a great fucking workout, right? The third thing that they should be getting is learning a new skill, boxing. Now, if you get number 1 and 3 mixed up, if you try and teach them how to box perfect, what that's going to do for 99% of people who's coming to boxing for fitness is going to take the fun out of it. It's going to make it fucking boring, because I can't teach anyone how to throw a perfect jab in 1 hour. Now, imagine me spending 1 hour just throwing that straight jab. It's a fucking boring session. It's not going to be a hard workout. But yeah, the jab might not be perfect, but let's move on, and now let's throw the combination. You know, so that's a big thing, a big mistake that boxers trying to get in the fitness industry make when they're trying to teach someone for fitness. You know, and as well, like, my coach, if I made a mistake, Tony, what the fuck was that? Right? If I said that to one of these housewives in Santa Monica, Sally, what the fuck was that? She's not coming back to the gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Or if I drop my hand, I get a slap across the face. Again, if I did that with one of these lawyers who come into Box and Burn, drops his hand, whack across the face, he's not coming in again.
You might have a lawsuit on your hands.
Exactly, especially in this town. So we can't do that. But what I can do is, that was good, but if you do it this way and speak to them in a different manner, that was excellent. But when you do it like this, you're going to get this benefit, like this, making them feel good about the session. It's going to make them have fun.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a great workout, and then they're going to learn to box as well.
I think so. Like, there's a great way, like you said, you got to incentivize the client coming in, but also it's like, you got to incentivize the boxer now. Like, hey, listen, we don't need you to train this way. We don't need to train people in this light, in this aspect. With the slap across the face, put your hands down.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to be coming here having a good time to see. I think the number one thing that people get deterred is they don't realize what value they can provide in any situation.
Yeah.
And again, back to especially athletes after that. Well, what did I do? What's so special about what I do? You've already done something that's so unique and so great. And you took yourself to a professional level or collegiate level. It's still like a percentage of the population of a country that gets to go do that opportunity.
Yeah.
Now, what did you learn? What did you take away? And how can you give back and make that beneficial?
Yeah,
but
big time. And another thing, what the problem what boxers have when they're teaching boxing is that they've got an ego. Like, and I was the same. I'd be in the gym and I'd be saying, this boxing trainer over here has never boxed a fucking day in his life. How can he teach someone how to box? And his client looks shit, and he should be doing this, he should be doing that. It's a bit of an ego, like, and he's getting paid for that. Nah, we've got to lose that completely. We've got to lose that completely. Now we've got trainers at Box and Burn earning $2-3 grand a week teaching boxing, who's never had a pair of gloves on in their life, but they understand how to teach our methods, how to speak to a client, how to make sure they're having a good time with boxing. They're not training someone to fight in the Olympics or for a world title. They're teaching someone boxing. They give them a great workout, make them addicted to the workout, and the person's loving it, getting good results. The trainer's enjoying it, earning money. It's a win-win all around. And like I say, that's a big thing. What athletes, especially boxers, do, that have that ego, thinking, no, you can't do it.
I'm right there with you, man. I went through it as well.
Right?
Yeah, you see it. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Especially it was bad at first. I mean, in some gyms teaching basketball to kids, and you're seeing some guy just yell at some kids, and once you've already recognized, like, oh, I'm teaching a 7-year-old, whether they know this or not, and you're hearing them yell, and they're already teaching the strategy wrong. It's almost you want to go over there and slap the coach, not the kid, and it's like, oh God.
But I guess with basketball,
kid.
It's different because you different in the way it is, like, you've got to be good, you've got to be perfected, right? Because it's not just a workout. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. Again, it's going to depend on. I totally see why your academy does so well and your program, because you got to know who you're training. You got to know why they're coming to you, and then if you can do that in the right way, like guy training with basketball now, he again in the gym, and I'm videotaping his shot. We're just out. He's not going out to be a professional basketball player. He's not doing any kind of competition, but now because again it's a shot. There's a lot of technique that goes into that basketball shot. And he's looking at the videotape. He's studying film on the side now. Like, hey, so I'm twisting when I shoot, and my hand's not coming in. And I see what you're talking about. I'm shooting with two hands, because my left hand goes forward. Okay, so what do you do? So he's actually buying into, I want to be better, even though we're going out to just get some shots.
Right.
We're doing some ball handling drills. How can I be better? And again, you sell them on the idea of getting themselves better with the program itself. But same thing with kids. I mean, it's just a matter of how you instill those good little disciplines.
Yeah, the good fundamentals.
And again, like you said, you're just going to be in the gym someday maybe, just throwing one jab for an hour.
Yeah.
If I'm training a kid who's like, I never trained before, or even like middle school, high school kid, I don't even let them touch a basketball first time. We're getting your footwork down.
Right,
We're going to be running around the gym, seeing how you stop, how you pivot, how you twist and turn, because you can't look down when we play. Right. You got to be dribbling the ball.
So with that, with what the way you're teaching there, it's like what is the end goal with that kid? If the end goal is to be playing for the team and to be a real good basketball player, that's the shit you've got to do. Same with boxing. You've got to come in, you've got to work for that job for an hour. But if it's someone coming to you for a fitness session, you're not gonna, for a basketball fitness session, you're not gonna touch a basketball.
It depends, because I would add some kind of fitness element in there. To
really?
know that I want to make sure I get the workout. Hey, we're getting a basketball. We're doing a set of basketball push-ups, and then I'll get you on the wall sit, throwing the basketball up and down, hitting the wall. But
if I come to you for a basketball session for fitness, and I didn't shoot a basketball into a hoop one time, I'd be like, fuck this guy, I'm on for the next guy.
Well, again, it would depend, because like I said, even with the kid, if I had him coming in, if he was not going to be a professional basketball player or not, we got to teach him how to stop and go, because we don't want him traveling on the basketball court.
Right.
We don't want him moving and stopping and going. If he doesn't know that he just has to be stationary, even without the ball, well, he's going to go into a game and just not even know the rules.
Right, yeah. Yeah, two different concepts, because like I say, you're competing with basketball. That's a competition really with basketball. In boxing, these people are not competing. They just keep them fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's like when you say we get the basketball drills out, and you just remembering, you go to basketball camps and those silly little competitions you do. I think I did like a layup competition. You put 2 chairs on the elbows, and you're just going up and down, around, shoot a layup, rebound, around. How many you can get in a minute? And I think like I posted on my social media, it gets like 3,000 views, and I'm like, well, never that many followers at this point. Like people just want to see you do a dumb little drill. But again, what's your page about? What do people want to see you do? What are you known for? And how can you market that to other people? So it's hard to step away from the game completely.
Right. Yeah.
When it's the thing you can market yourself as, especially in life after sports.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know why you got 3,000 views?
Why?
Because you were giving value. Right.
That's it. You got to know your value.
Yeah, that's why my Instagram, I've grew like over 100,000 followers in a year, because I went from posting shit about me kids and fucking whatever to giving someone value. And this is a thing I taught about in the Boxman Academy as well, is talking about how to grow your social media and grow your brand. And you've got to think, like, if I went to your Instagram page right now and I didn't know who you were, would I follow you? And for 99% of people, no, would I follow? Like, why would I want to follow you if I'm not getting anything back? But now, if someone goes to my page who wants to learn about boxing, they'll 100% follow me, because all I do on my page is give value. Give value. You heard of the book Jab Jab Right Hook? Jab Jab Right Hook. Have you heard of the book?
No.
Have you? No. Gary Vaynerchuk.
Oh, it's by him.
Gary V. Jab Jab Jab. It's Jab 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 Right Hook. Give, then ask. That's what it means. Like, give value. It's more like 100 jabs, then a right hook. So you give a shit ton of value, and then you'll ask for something in return. Give stuff for free and ask for something in return. Rather than most of these businesses, what they do is ask. Right hook. Do you know what I mean?
No, a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah.
They don't understand, like, hey, how can you market yourself? Like, especially with the podcast. Like, okay, how do you make money on this? How do you start when you just want to get a radio show, get the microphones out and start doing that? Well, how can you leverage something of skill you learned to do that? And for me, it's been actually repurposing and the production side. Hey, I can make a great goddamn audio file. I can get some great video stuff of you, my guest, because I think something that's unique that you have to tell. And I'm going to give you everything back to you guys because, again, and people are like saying, well, how do you do this? How do you do that? Like, no. What I get, I don't know what I'm going to get or what I'm going to ask for when I need to. I want to give these people, and I want to show the product that I can show that it's beneficial to get where I want to get and go where I want to go.
And with the podcast as well, it's like you see, you're giving you coming here to West Elliot to do this with me, to give your listeners value. Hopefully they get a little bit of value out of this episode. Hopefully,
so humble.
If not, go to the next one. But and then what will happen is when this grows even more, and you get people asking you for sponsorships. And I'm sure what you would do, you would get a brand that you recommend, and then you'll see, all right, now I want to talk about this mushroom coffees, Four Sigmatic. Who's
not a promotion. Not sponsoring us.
He's a friend of mine. There you go. But that's an example that popped in my head. I've never done any advertising with anyone, but then it's like, this really helps me get to sleep at night. These coffee drinks, your listeners are going to trust in you and your opinion. And then they're going to buy them, and then you're going to earn your affiliate or whatever from them.
The influence is a really unique thing. And, you hear the term influencer.
Yeah.
But there is total influence. Like you said, whether it's boxing or whether you don't even get sponsored by a product, but we start talking about Four Sigmatic because I'm familiar with it. And the product's great. Yeah. It's good stuff. You want to tell people that they should be taking this for whatever beneficial reason they can get from the different products they have. Yeah. And they can go in, they can look at it. But, people listen. If I say something about basketball, someone's going to pick up and start an engagement, discussion, and that's where that influence comes in.
Yeah, influences is huge, and especially podcast influences, because people, what they're doing now, they're listening to you and they're building a relationship with you in their mind because they've got your voice in their ears.
And that's it, man. That's it.
It's powerful.
You're the new voice in someone's head, is how I call it. That's my phrase right there. You're the new voice in someone's head.
So we've had a friend of mine called Brendan Sharp. Have you heard of him?
Yeah, Fighter and the Kid.
Yeah. So his podcast is absolutely ridiculous.
Crushing.
I've been on it. Like, I remember I was on his other one, Big Brown Breakdown. He had it's called something else now, and the next day after it released, it had 800,000 downloads. So that's 800,000 people in your ears. Then it had like 1.5 million downloads altogether. Mention what we've just spoke about there in the Boxing Burn Academy. If we went that in depth, with what we've done on this podcast with that, tomorrow I would be getting, I would make $5,000 off people who heard it going to that. You know, we've got so much business from him mentioning us on his podcast, just like Tony Jeffries, he's got a boxing program, and then I learn like $3,000 just off him talking about it. That's how big these episodes are. Mm-hmm. Like the likes of Joe Rogan now, probably one of the biggest podcasters in the world. Like, I heard he gets paid like $50,000 for an episode, for like a 1 minute talk about a product, because he's that influential. No. Yeah,
I was talking with the Libsyn, the company that hosts. I was at the podcast conference when I was in Austin, and Rogan just unreal download numbers with like no promotion. And then do you know Dan Carlin, Hardcore History?
Yeah.
When he releases a show, he doesn't even promote it, but it takes 6 months for him to release a show because he puts so much quality production. He's one of the best storytellers out there right now. Great history podcast. It's because when he puts one out, it's 1 million downloads without even promoting it. Wow. And then when it's promoted, he's got the most downloads like per episode. Rogan's got the most because Rogan gets like 3 or 4 a week coming out, and it's just
and then Rogan as well. He's got his YouTube channel as well, where it's very smart. I don't know if you do this with this, where he
promote it and send the video.
But no, what he does, he takes clips. He takes like
the JRE clips. It's a whole different segment itself.
It's huge, and then that's what I prefer listening to, the little nuggets from the show. So that's creating a shit ton of revenue there as well. Like Brendan as well. Brendan's just bought a Ferrari. He's fucking killing it.
Oh man!
So I was Brendan's trainer for his last 3 fights in the UFC. He was the last fighter and the only fighter I've ever trained. When we talk about training fighters, so I was in his corner for his last 3 fights. I was his head trainer, and now he's earning 10 times more money through podcasting than he was through fighting.
I remember when they were doing, because one of my buddies was running the ads for them when they were doing the Trunk Club or one of the other Trunk Club things that him and Brian were doing. And he's like, the amount of money these guys are making just on that, sending the trunk to people's houses of clothes. It's picked out for you. It's nuts.
Yeah, there was something called MyUndies or something.
MeUndies was a big one.
Yeah.
I think I bought a pair of underwear, MeUndies. I don't know whose podcast it was, but actually really durable underwear. Again, not paid for this post, but those 3 pairs lasted. Good pairs. Yeah. I want to be respectful of your time. Yeah. We've been on 47. It's 3:10 right now. Yeah. How are you on time?
Yeah, I need to leave soon.
You leave?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wrap it up.
If you've got anything else to wrap it up on, let's wrap it up on 5 minutes.
No, you leave us on a good note, man. Leave my listeners, people listening.
So let me give everyone one piece of advice before we end. This is the best advice I can give you: is turn your notifications off on your phone, all of your notifications. Right now, everyone's got notifications on the phone. They'll get a like on Instagram, bumper pops up on the phone. They get a comment on Facebook. They get a notification on the phone. Turn that shit off, right? Because if I'm having a conversation with you like we are right now, and my phone's there and it keeps lighting up, what that's doing there, it's taking me away from this interaction what we're having right now. Because even though it's just like Sally liked my post, like that just took us away from that, killed it. Take your notifications off your phone. It's since I've done that, I'm enjoying life better. It gives my mind more time to be creative and think of whatever it wants to think about without being distracted by that fucking piece of shit phone. No, I love my phone, but it gives but that there is the best piece of advice I can give anyone at this day and age right now. Keep your notifications off your phone. Everyone, even text messages. The only way I know I've got a text message is if I go into my actual app, the text message app. I don't even have the little numbers pop up, because I don't need it. It's taking me away from life. And we live in, so we don't want to be away from life. We want to be in life.
Positive affirmations right there, man.
Emma, you fucking take note as well.
Why he never responds to me.
No, I can totally agree with you. I don't have all the notifications on my phone, but if it's not there, like, you just don't have a reason to go in there and look for it unless you have to go on.
Yeah.
How much time do you have on your Instagram now? Does it say how much time a day you spend on yours?
So I've cut it down to 35 minutes.
That's good.
Because before I was on it for like 2-3 hours.
Yeah, mine's bad right now.
Yeah.
Mine's bad.
And another thing what I'll not do is I'll not scroll on Instagram like this shit. I'll not do it. Sometimes I might find myself stop fucking off that shit, you know. Why do we scroll on Instagram? It's because we've got nothing better to do. Where I've got a shit ton better to do. I mean, we've spoke for a while. You know how busy my time is right now.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend that looking at fucking Peter's dog picture. You know what I mean?
Totally. These things are fighting for our attention. That literally is a 24-hour circular clock. It says,
Right.
okay, Instagram, and then look what Facebook's done. They've bought out WhatsApp because, hey, if you're spending all your time on WhatsApp, well, guess what? We own WhatsApp, so we got more of that chunk of your time. We got Instagram now, so we own, 20 hours of your day.
Right.
You're not sleeping, you're spending it with us.
Yeah.
And we own where you're going to see that, so we can make money finally through advertisement on those things. It's
but like Instagram is a great platform for businesses. I've earned a very good living off Instagram itself, doing packages and things like that, and I grew a big following, grew my name in the industry through Instagram. So it can be great as long as you're using that, not letting that use you. I heard someone say the other week that Facebook hasn't got a customer care number, and the reason why it hasn't got a customer care number is because you're not a customer. You're a product to Facebook. We're a product to Facebook because Facebook sells us. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why they haven't got that. They sell us as advertisements for other people. And I thought that was really, really clever. So we've got to learn how to use these platforms for our businesses or for our advantage rather than letting them use us for their advantage. It's not like it's them against us. I guess it kind of is, but if we do that, life's going to be better.
Well, they had to find a way to make money. And, you think about even like with your friends, they limit, the people, unless, they're socially active with you on that platform, only 10% of those people are going to get to see your stuff in their notifications. So, hey, how are we going to make money? We're going to limit the amount of things that even people's friends can see from them. So they have to pay us, and especially businesses as well. So it's, hey, good for them. I mean, he made this unreal platform. Good on him. And my last question before I let you go. You get to watch one fight in history. It was any card, or it could be a card that you want to make up in your mind. This boxer versus that boxer. Who would it be, and where would it be?
In my second professional fight, I fought this German that was shit, and I knocked him out in the second round. I'll watch that again. No, I haven't got one. Tell you the truth, I'm not a boxing fan. I'm not that big of a boxing fan. I've watched probably over 2,000 fights in my life, probably more. I used to be at boxing tournaments, and I'd be big for my age, so I'd be the last person to fight. There'd be 50 fights on before me. I'd be sitting there like amateur fights. I'd be watching 50 fucking fights. I've watched that many fights. Right, the last thing I want to do right now is watch a fight, unless it's that's why Mayweather and McGregor was like attractive to me. It's appealing to me. I wanted to watch that.
It's one of those dream cards. Like if
yeah,
this question,
and then like if I'll watch a McGregor fight on MMA or. I mean, like one of these heavyweight fights, Tyson Fury versus Joshua. I'd like to see one of them, but I'm good. I'm good on fights.
Tony, thank you for your time.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for letting us get in here and shoot this show. And everybody, make sure you go check out Tony's pages. He's got a YouTube page. If you want to see even more in-depth stuff that he talks about the boxing stuff, that's on his Instagram page. That's how he built it. There's plenty of stuff how to learn. And if you are in the Santa Monica or LA area, go check out Box and Burn. I'm due to go check out a class. So I'm going to get my ass out there. Not going to spar. I've taken way too many concussions in my life, so I cannot hit or get hit at all ever again. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in, because if you're watching us on video, you probably can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and go ahead and check out all of our other pages, Instagram, Facebook, anywhere the show is there. And if you want to support this show, because it's hard work getting our ass out here, putting these cameras up, getting the recording, sending it out, you can support us over on Patreon, and that's going to be the Bus Driver Experience, where you get a more in-depth look to the people we've had on this show and more things that we talk about with the Bus Driver Experience. So, thank you guys. We're out of here. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
This is the move. For those who